The metaverse already has a groping problem. Horizon Worlds, Meta's virtual reality social media platform, was made available to the public last week. Meta, the umbrella business formerly known as Facebook, is a virtual reality social media platform. Early descriptions of the platform make it sound like it'll be a lot of fun, and it's been compared to Minecraft. Up to 20 avatars can gather at a time in Horizon Worlds to explore, hang out, and develop in the virtual world. But it hasn't all been sunshine and roses. According to Meta, a beta tester reported something unsettling on November 26. She had been molested by a stranger on Horizon Worlds. Meta disclosed on December 1 that she had shared her Horizon Worlds beta testing experience on Facebook. The beta tester should have used a tool called SafeZone, which is part of a suite of safety precautions incorporated into Horizon Worlds, according to Meta's internal investigation. When users feel endangered, they can activate SafeZone, a protective bubble. No one can touch them, talk to them, or interact with them until they signal that the safe zone should be lifted. The groping experience was very awful, according to Vivek Sharma, vice president of Horizon, who told The Verge, "That's fantastic feedback nonetheless for us because I want to make the blocking function trivially easy and findable." It's not the first time a user has been groped in virtual reality, and it won't be the last, either. However, the incident demonstrates that the metaverse will never be a safe place until firms figure out how to protect participants. "There I was, practically groped," says the narrator. Aaron Stanton was relocated to October 2016 after he learned about the incident at Meta. That's when Jordan Bellemire, a gamer, wrote an open post on Medium about being groped in Kiever, a game Stanton co-designed in which players shoot zombies with bow and arrows. Bellemire mentioned joining a multiplayer mode in which all characters were identical save for their voices in the letter. "I was sitting out next to Big Bro 442, waiting for our next attack, in between shooting down waves of zombies and demons. Big Bro 442's disembodied helmet suddenly turned to face me. His floating hand neared my body, and he began to stroke my chest virtually. 'Stop!' I screamed. This enraged him, and he pursued me around the room, grasping and pinching my chest even when I turned away from him. He even shoved his hand toward my virtual crotch and began massaging, emboldened. There I was, almost imprisoned in a frozen fortress, watching my brother-in-law and husband." Stanton and his co-founder, Jonathan Schenker, issued an apology and an in-game update almost immediately. Avatars would be able to make a V gesture with their arms, which would instantly push any intruders away. Stanton, who now runs the VR Institute for Health and Exercise, says Kiever didn't keep track of data on that feature, and I don't think it was used that much. Stanton, on the other hand, often thinks about Bellemire and wonders whether he could have done more in 2016 to prevent the incident that transpired just a few weeks ago in Horizon Worlds. He says, "There's so much more to be done here. No one should ever have to leave a virtual reality encounter feeling powerless. Sexual harassment in virtual reality is sexual harassment in real life." Many online replies to this episode were dismissive of Bellemire's experience and, at times, hostile and misogynistic, according to a recent study of the events surrounding Bellemire's encounter published in the Journal for the Digital Games Research Association. Given the virtual and humorous setting in which it occurred, readers from all perspectives struggled to comprehend this behavior. Bellemire vanished from view, and I couldn't find her on the internet. After Bellemire's Medium essay, there was a lot of discussion on message boards about whether or not what she had experienced was genuinely groping if she wasn't physically touched. Jesse Fox, an associate professor at Ohio State University who studies the social ramifications of virtual reality, says, "I believe people should keep in mind that sexual harassment has never had to be a physical thing. It might be verbal, but it can also be a virtual experience. When virtual reality is immersive and genuine, toxic behavior that occurs in that environment is as real," according to Catherine Cross, an online harassment researcher at the University of Washington. At the end of the day, virtual reality settings are designed to fool the user into believing they are physically in a given space, that their every bodily activity is taking place in a 3D world, she explains. It's one of the reasons why emotional reactions can be more intense in that environment, and why VR causes the same internal nervous system and psychological responses. In the case of the woman who was touched on Horizon Worlds, this was true. Sexual harassment is no joke on the conventional internet, she said, according to The Verge. But being in VR adds another dimension that makes the event more intense. Last night, not only was I touched, but there were other individuals present who encouraged it, making me feel lonely in the plaza, the virtual environment's principal meeting space. Sexual assault and harassment in virtual worlds is nothing new, and it's unrealistic to expect these problems to go away totally. They will continue to happen as long as there are people who would hide behind their computer screens to avoid moral accountability. Perhaps the underlying issue is the notion that there is a contract between developer and player when you play a game or participate in a virtual environment, as Stanton describes it. As a player, I agree to be free to do whatever I want in the developer's world as long as I follow their rules, he explains. However, as soon as that contract is broken and I'm no longer at ease, the company's job is to return the player to wherever they want to be and make them feel at ease. The question is, who is responsible for ensuring that consumers are at ease? Meta, for example, claims that it provides users with tools to help them stay safe, effectively shifting the responsibility to them. We want everyone in Horizon Worlds to have a great experience with easy-to-find safety tools, and it's never the fault of the user if they don't use all of the capabilities we provide, said Meta spokesperson Christina Milian. We will continue to improve our user interface and gain a better understanding of how people use our products so that users may easily and reliably report issues. Our goal is to make Horizon Worlds a safe place to visit, and we are dedicated to achieving that goal. Prior to joining Horizon Worlds, users must go through an onboarding procedure that teaches them how to launch Safe Zone, according to Milian. She also stated that reminders are displayed on televisions and posters around Horizon Worlds on a daily basis. But, according to Cross, the problem is that the meta-groping victim either did not think to use Safe Zone or was unable to access it. For me, the structural question is the most important one, she says. In general, when businesses deal with online abuse, they outsource it to the consumer and tell them, "Here, we offer you the power to take care of yourself." And that is both unjust and ineffective. There are many ways to make safety simple and accessible, and there are many ideas for doing so. All it would take, according to Stanton, is some kind of universal signal in virtual reality, perhaps Kiefer's V gesture, to alert moderators that something was wrong. Fox asks if an automatic personal distance would be beneficial unless two individuals agree to be closer. And, according to Cross, it would be beneficial for training sessions to expressly spell out norms that parallel those in everyday life. You wouldn't arbitrarily grope someone in the real world, and you should transfer that over to the virtual world. One key step toward a better virtual world, until we figure out whose role it is to safeguard users, is penalizing aggressors, who often get away with it and continue to participate online even after their behavior is exposed. We require deterrence, adds Fox. This entails locating and suspending or banning bad offenders. When asked what happened to the alleged groper, Milian replied Meta doesn't discuss specifics regarding particular situations. Stanton regrets not doing more to promote the power gesture across the business, and not speaking up more about Bellemeyer's groping incident. He describes it as a missed opportunity. At Meta, we could have averted that incident. If there's one thing that's apparent, it's that no one is directly responsible for the rights and safety of those who participate in virtual worlds or any place else online. The metaverse will remain a hazardous and troublesome realm unless something changes.